again. I know the last time we had some technical difficulties because of the weather, and it was crazy. But how was it there now?
We got some kind of tropical storm out of Miami, but we're supposed to get it tonight, but not much, just rain and wind. It's normal Florida weather.
My throat is bothering me. Allergies is driving me up a wall. So it's crazy. So, like the last time we were talking, you were telling me that you were in a band prior with Tommy, right?
Yeah, I met Tommy a couple of years earlier. A band called Atlantis. They had
Yeah,
an ad. They had an ad in one of the. I think it was it East Coast Rocker used to have the ads, classified ads, a one ad press, and
right,
I met Tommy, and we started doing originals and covers, and we started playing, but it just the singer wasn't all that, you know what I mean? He was a great songwriter, but it
right.
doesn't. And then I got an offer to go with a band called Legend at the time that was doing the whole club circuit. That's when White Tiger, Twisted Sister was big, you know, and these guys were all over, and they were a young band, more
Right.
my age. So I joined them, and I went with them up until the drinking age changed. And then when the drinking age changed, then I went to California and I joined Hellion,
Okay.
you know?
Okay. So tell me how like Pierce came about. I mean,
When I left Hellion and I came back and I started an original project,
okay.
and I needed a drummer. So Tommy, and I ran into Tommy Joe in a bar, and he said his studio has, sorry, but my dog's going a little crazy.
No, it's okay.
Ruby, come here, girl. Come on. So Tommy had, the studio had changed. When I was in Atlantis, it was just like one big room up there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Really haunted. And it was, I mean, we had no electric. We had electric sometimes, you know, when we could pay the bill because we were young. You know, it was an adventure, put it that way. But now we had it as a business, and he had recordings. So I went up there and recorded. He played drums for me. He said, "You owe me a favor." You know, I said, "Okay." And about 2 months later, he called me up and says, "Oh," I think he called me on a Sunday night. He said, "Oh, you know, you owe me a favor." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm in a band and we're playing Friday night." I didn't know it was his first gig too, you know?
Right. Right.
And his first show with them. And I said, "No, I'll come up." So I went up there, I think Tuesday night, and I met the guys, and I got a tape from them. I think I went back there Wednesday and Thursday, and we practiced, and we did the show Friday night at Close Encounters. And it was great, you know. When I was doing my original project, nobody came up to me and said, "You're a great singer." I got off stage there, people like, "You're the greatest bass player." I was like, I quit my own band and joined him, you know.
Right. Right.
You got something. So I decided to stay because I've seen a lot of potential in the project with Dennis and Billy, you know. They were a little heavy, they were a lot heavier than my style. When I joined, I brought more of the commercial into it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Radio play stuff. My writing's a lot more mellower than what they were at the time.
Right. Right. But I mean, your bass playing was like a big part of that.
Yeah, that was fun.
A huge
I
part
love
of
playing
Pierce.
bass was so much easier to play because you could run around and have fun, you know?
I mean,
So,
you were always up at the front.
yeah, I was always
I
doing
remember you
something.
being up at the front, just like, you know, and you were just like up there, and it was just like watching you guys play was like phenomenal, you know.
Yeah, sometimes I
And
was too far in the front and I'd actually fall off the stage. You know?
yeah,
I'm the last set.
yeah. But I mean, you look great, man. I mean, you really haven't changed except for like you don't have long hair anymore.
Now I got funny glasses. We went on a surf trip this weekend, and I had the straps on my glasses, and I lost 2 pairs of glasses in the ocean. And then my third pair, I don't know where they are, so I had to find an old pair of glasses so I could see. It sucks getting old, you know?
Yeah.
Some things don't work like they used to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. The older we get, we can't do what we used to.
I still try, man. Nothing stops me, bro. I still do everything. There's
So
nothing I don't try.
I am so pissed off, man. I mean, I tried to play that song that you wrote about your ex-wife, God rest her soul, and I couldn't play it.
Yeah, well, you know, you bring up a really good point. And listen up, kids. Music business sucks. Your friends aren't your friends. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a story behind this. I recorded those songs with two of the two first songs I recorded with this guy, Nick At. Actually, Nick wrote the music to Three Can Hold a Secret, and I put the words on it.
Right.
Then I was in the Warlocks Motorcycle Club for 20 years. So I'm a retired member now.
Right.
You know, I'm still a member. And we did the Gangland show, Paid in Blood, and it was the highest rated Gangland show of all time. So Discovery picked up on that, and Discovery decided they were going to do a 6-episode story on the Warlocks. Well, the club agreed, but some of the higher ups that were cliquey didn't really want me in it because I had a real story. And if you think the music business is fucked up, Hollywood's way worse.
Really?
So I was going to be in it, then I wasn't going to be in it. And then they started shooting, and Hollywood took over and started writing these stupid stories and pissing the club off. Well, the club didn't know it at the time, what was going on. They started writing these stupid stories. And then two of the guys that were actually had real stories, Slob Rob and Dambo, brought me into it. And they brought me in on the 4th episode, and I was supposed to do 5 and 6. And then they're going to do it next season was supposed to be because I had the band Scooter Trash and the Gutter Sluts. And we went around doing bike weeks and all like 1% biker music, the stuff I write.
Right.
And when the show came out, it got shut down by the club because a lot of stories that Hollywood wrote for it was bullshit. Mine was real, so we never even got to my stories. I just had a couple appearances, but I got Hollywood interested in me about doing a show about me with the band Scooter Trash and Gutter Sluts.
Right.
So one of my good friends at the time, who was a friend for a couple of years, and he was involved in the music business. He was involved in a bunch of boy bands. I'm with Lou Pearlman, the biggest child molester, whatever, allegedly. You know, the guy's dead now, but he would only take like kids from broken families, supposedly. This was the guy Mike told me, you know, and get them into the band. And, you know, I guess some of them he molested, but that's what he said. I have no proof of that. That's what I'm just going on what somebody said. Right. But that's a long story short. This guy, Mike, all of a sudden, he's my best friend because Hollywood's interested in me. So he wants to become partners, and we're doing a reality show together. So he mixes a couple of the songs. We're supposed to be partners. I paid him to mix these songs too. We ended up being partners in a production company that was shooting it. And that got all screwed up because in the middle of filming of the pilot, that's when my ex died. She committed suicide on a Thursday night, and we were doing marriage counseling on a Friday morning. And that kind of put that in a tailspin.
God rest her soul, man.
Yeah, so we kind of put the reality, when we got the trailer for the pilot, man, it was no longer really about Scooter Trash and Gutter Sluts. It was the 1%ers. Like Hollywood tries to change everything that they want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you could say one thing and then they take another line from something else and put it together and say, I didn't say that, you know?
Right.
So that was a whole different story. But anyway, we were partners, and then we were going to try to do Growing Up 1% about me raising my kid by myself.
Right.
And we started filming that. And then there was no drama without her because she was like half my age. And I was raising the kids. So it kind of fizzled out. And we never did nothing with the songs, and all stuff was recorded. I wrote it all. So then I started releasing it. And this asshole I should have seen it come in because he alienated all his friends.
Right.
We were supposed to be partners. It wasn't even a real record company. We're going through TuneCore, you know, and he alienated his friends, his family. He hated everybody. He worked for Snap. He said nothing about bad things about him. Everybody worked for him. He had no friends. He moved out into 14 acres. He got real fat. He used to drink every night. Then he started doing steroids because somebody told him to lose weight, and it just made him crazy drunk. So I started releasing songs. He contacted out of the blue the distributor and says he owns the stuff. So they pulled it all down till it gets settled in court who owns what. And he doesn't own the music, he owns the sound recordings, but they just pulled it all down. So right now all my music is pulled down, and I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of paying him because I already paid him. I'm just going to
Right.
re-record it over, you know, because
That,
it's my music. I did it. I own the copyrights. Fuck him. He's probably trolling us right now because he'll be watching it. So right there,
well,
Fats.
yeah, exactly, man. I
I put
mean,
his address out. I talked because I was covering for him. He pulled the club video down. He pulled Sheena's eulogy down. He pulled my kids' video down. Mike Moran is a piece of shit, basically. And he sits in
that's
his
such
house and he, what's that?
such a freaking shame, man, because you know, I mean, your songs, I mean, I listen to them. They
Well,
could
they're still
be
available. They're still available. I put them on my Facebook page and you can go to Dropbox and get them, you know, you can still get
okay.
them. You can
Okay.
still get them. I'm gonna re-release them. I gotta get some time this summer. I'm gonna re-record everything. I got a couple other ones, new ones I want to record, and I got a studio here. I'm gonna take them to somebody else to mix them. Make sure I got it signed. See, there was no contracts between me and him, and they should have never pulled anything down. So that's, you know what I mean.
No,
But
I try. I,
it's, you know what I mean. They say infringement of copyrights. We can't be part of this until it's proven because somebody's disputing this. I was like, are you? This guy's just busting my balls. He's a fucking idiot. Like I said, he's a hermit. He's disgusting. He gained a bunch of weight. It looks like a hoarder lives. He lives in his dump. It's a little round house with cockroaches. And oh man, I never say he has got a mental depression issue because he went from here down to here, you know. So, and you can't argue with an idiot, basically. So, and
yeah,
I'm not giving him any money. So I'll record him over. I'll pay somebody else to record him before I give him a penny. You know?
absolutely, man. I mean, I actually used to play your songs. I mean, I'd be in work working on cars, and I would actually play your songs, and people would be like, you know, what band is this? I go, this is a buddy of mine, Joey, from an 80s band called Pierce, and he's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And these songs are great. And they're really good songs. They were like really digging them, and they were like the song about your wife. They were kind of like they listened to it and they were like, it's such a beautiful song. And I went to go play it, and it was like content not available. And I was so pissed off. I was like, this scumbag.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean, I don't know if I'm saying anything out of line by calling him that, but
No, it's the truth. You know how many people saying that? Because I'm saying he's just a vindictive person, you know, basically. Still, and it's really weird. It's like when the interest stopped in me, it was like the friendship stopped. It was all that's what I'm saying. Music and Hollywood is a bunch of bullshit. You don't really have any friends when it comes to that business. Money is their friend, and that's it. You know.
yeah,
So
yeah. I, I I was actually gonna try to find some people to help record my songs because I have a lot of songs written. I have a guitar player. I went to the studio and I jammed with him, and he was in a band Ritual I was in, and we jammed, you know, and I'd like to get these unreleased songs recorded, but at the same time, it's like, where's it gonna go?
it's
Like,
not even about. I wasn't worried about where it was going to go. I just recorded it because I did it. And the one
yeah,
song sent a message. It might help somebody that was going to commit suicide, make them think when they hear a little kid talking.
yeah,
That takes a real asshole to pull that down. You know what I mean? I wasn't making money on the stuff. There was no
yeah,
money involved. He's just
yeah.
being an asshole.
We're musicians. I mean, we it's actually hard to be a musician unless you're, and even if you're signed by a label, and most bands aren't signed by labels anymore, you know, and it's like, you know, I mean,
It's
you
harder
bas-
if you sign by a label. You
yeah,
know, 'cause then you got to listen to them.
yeah, and you know, I know my cousin's band went through that, and they had a problem, and it well, I'm not going to say anything about Rocco Fury. You know, I'm not going to say anything bad about him. I don't do that on this show. But there were some a lot of tensions within the band,
You know what
and
happens.
yeah, I mean, everybody's got a band is a marriage basically, and there are going to be disagreements, and there are going to be, things, and that more than anybody.
Yeah, I've been
I'm
divorced 3 times too.
okay, yeah, well, I I remember, so when you joined Pierce, when you and Tommy joined Pierce, I know Tommy knew all the material because the guys weren't, the drummer wasn't showing up. And did they just bring you in?
Yeah, basically, I had to learn the set in a couple of days, and they kind of, a lot of them sounded the same to me. So I'd just do the songs in order, and I put the names of the songs down, and the key it was in. And I mean, I learned it as best as I can, but a lot of it I just winged. Since I played with Tommy, I knew where he was going, basically.
Yeah, because
So, I mean, the first couple of times I played, I didn't really know the songs. I couldn't tell the difference from one to the other, you know?
yeah,
But I just wrote the key it was in and didn't, I'm on the set list, I put the key next to each song, you know?
yeah, because like we're in all the
I had like
first,
3 days to learn the songs the first show.
yeah. I mean, and on the second album, you did write a lot, help write a lot of those songs, didn't you?
Yeah, and I did a couple on the first one with them Hit and Run.
Hit and Run is actually, and I'm going to tell you, Joe, that's one of my favorite songs. It really is. That and Out of Hand.
Well, like, so Out of Hand, we wrote in the studio. Me and Tommy were just jamming and warming up. And while we were recording the first album, and then Billy came in and started playing something. And Dennis says, "What's that?" We're like, "Nothing." He goes, "Hold on." He went outside, came back 15 minutes later, and it was all the funny things that we used to say on the road all the time.
Yeah,
"Hey Lou" was a slogan, and Dennis used to always be saying, "Don't be looking at my dick," and "We're out of hand."
yeah,
And that song was a joke. And we wrote that song, I'm telling you, in like a half hour,
yeah.
recorded it, and basically made the album. You know?
I used to listen to that song. Wasn't that song recorded live? And there were no
Well,
like,
we did most of the first album was the bass guitar, rhythm guitar, and drums all recorded at the same time. Everything separate, but in the same room. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And we played the rhythm tracks, because we practiced night and day, man. We were like a machine. When we went in the studio, we did like 1 or 2 takes and it was done, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But yeah,
What
that was most of our recording. Even the second album, we always did the rhythm tracks together.
which were some of your favorite songs that you liked playing in Pierce?
Oh, well, Turn the Page I liked because I put a really cool bass line to it.
That
That was fun. And Bound for
like,
Glory was a fun one on bass.
oh yeah, Bound for Glory.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's
Run
so,
Silent, Run Deep was fun.
yeah, Tommy loved that song.
Well,
He-
I like the stuff that me and him, you know what I mean? A lot of that stuff we played together on, like, and like I wasn't just hitting like bump bump, you know what I mean? I was actually playing. So the songs like that was, Shadows of Death.
oh, Shadow of Death. Forget it.
I like the Misery. Misery was an easy one, but that was one I worked on with the Dennis. I did the music on that one. That was fun. That was had a little funk to it,
What I really liked with Shadows was when Dennis would sing and he would go, "We'll bring you shadow, shadow," and the echo, and then it just came out, and then there was no music, and then he would just sing, and then everything would just hit hard.
Yeah, that
It
was a cool song.
it was an excellent song, and I also liked Winter Witch.
Winter Witch was a great song.
I remember Dennis coming into the studio while you guys were recording that, and you guys recorded that in Scotch Plains, correct?
We recorded that. I think it was a place in Scotch Plains. Was that Ears Studio?
Yeah. And Dennis was all excited. He came in this satin jacket. It was like a sports satin jacket, but it was black. His hair is hanging down. And he looked at me and he looked at everybody. He looked at Tommy and Billy and he goes, fucking Winter Witch, man. I love that tune. Oh man, we really rocked on
Well,
that song.
that song, we had a snowstorm. Like the whole 22 was covered, closed down basically, and Bonnie
Yeah.
Burn Road. There wasn't a car, and we were partying, and we were outside, I think, smoking a cigarette, and we looked up, and he's like, "You see that? It looked like a fucking witch." You know what I mean? And then
Right.
it just disappeared, and it disappeared, and that's what we got, the Winter Witch. We went into the studio, because that whole area is very old, you know, and there was a
Yeah.
lot of ghosts and stuff in that place. That place was an old water mill from like the Civil War or something, you know.
Tommy was
Yeah.
telling me about that there were
Yeah,
like,
there was a lot of history, but you know, we'd be in there sometimes, and you would just feel something lean up against you, or you see a shadow walking down the hallway, and
yeah, yeah,
it was kind of, you know,
yeah.
I think out of all the years I was up there, only once I felt something evil. I felt pinned to my bed, you know, and that was about it. But at first I used to have to drink to go to sleep there, because it was kind of, you know, not every day you sleep in a place that's haunted, you know.
Yeah.
But it never bothered Tommy, you know.
You did a lot of work up at that studio too. I mean, you didn't you do like the flooring and like a lot of the.
Yeah, well, I always had my flooring company on and off. You know,
Yeah.
I always kept even when we come off the road, I'd go put in floors, carpets, whatever. I always wanted, you know, I always made money. So when I left there, I ended up going back into the flooring business. I had one store in Jersey, and I had 3 down here. And Dennis came to work for me, and then Dennis went on his own until he was his own man flooring company for probably 25 years till the day he died. You know?
Really, really.
Yeah. He had Cherokee flooring. He started in Jersey, and then he came down here with it. You know?
Now, how did Dennis look? Did he still look the same? Like, I mean, before he passed, or?
Yeah, he got put a little bit of weight on. I didn't
Yeah,
see
I
him the
mean,
last couple of, we talked, but I didn't see him the last couple of years because of COVID, and we kind of lost contact for a couple of years.
yeah,
I was real busy with what I was doing, and you know, he was like 3 hours, 2.5 hours south of me. And then when I first moved down here and he moved down here, we worked together a couple of times up here. And then I seen him down by my dad. My dad lived down there.
right.
And then we kind of lost contact for a little bit. Then we got contact again. Every couple of years we'd pop in. But we were talking, and we were planning to go in the studio and do Anytime You're Ready, a song me and him wrote back in the day, but we never did it for an album. And we were going to do it, and then COVID hit, and then he got sick, and we never got a chance to do it.
There were, I remember so many songs that you guys, well, not so many, but there were a couple songs I remember watching you guys practice that were never recorded. Am I correct? Or
Yeah. Oh, when I left, there was Anytime You're Ready I wrote. Concrete Jungle I wrote. It was a different song. Dennis changed the words on it. He made it better, you know.
yeah,
We kept the name of the Concrete Jungle in the chorus, but he changed the verses. I had another one that I wrote the bass line, Six Gun Marionette. I forgot what the name of that one was. There was like 4 or 5 of them that were good that I wrote that I never did after I left there, you know?
wasn't there a song, the chorus was like, it's a falling rainbow, down, down, or something
Yeah, you
like
know, you
that.
said that last time, and I'm trying to think, and I remember there was so many songs. You know, I actually just listened to, my kid loves Pierce albums, and he's playing guitar and drums now. And I forgot about half the songs that were on the albums. You know?
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I listen to him. I'm in work and I'll be listening to him on my Bluetooth speaker, and my coworker's like, who's this band? They're really good. I'm like, well, it's a buddy of mine's band. You know, I know I knew all 4 of them, you know, and I still know the 3 of them. The lead singer had passed, you know, due to some complications, and they were really a big band, and they were in places where a lot of the other bands, like, you know, I'm not going to mention the names, you know, because I'm friends with them, you know, but like, I mean, you went places a lot of bands didn't. I mean, I saw the picture of you and Bobby Blouser with Dennis, in LA, at what was it, the
That whiskey,
Troubadour?
that was whiskey go go.
At the whiskey, yeah. I mean, you you Billy was has pictures with James Hetfield, I mean, you guys had connections, and you weren't just this glam band. You were a metal band. I mean, to me there was a difference between everybody started to sound alike at I mean, did you notice that everybody started to sound alike at like 1989 to 1990, 91?
Yeah, but that
When
was
you
our problem. We didn't. We had a low voice singer before it was popular, and that was against us at first. You know.
Yes, but but his stage presence,
Oh
nobody
yeah.
could beat it. Nobody.
No. And it was
It,
great.
Dennis's stage presence, he was the best front man I've seen on stage
Yeah.
in
He
New
could definitely
Jersey.
hold the crowd.
Yeah, he was, to me, he was like a cross between David Lee Roth and the lead singer from the Bullet Boys. I mean, he was like a cross between them. And he was just so good at what he did. You know, I remember a couple of times maybe he lost his voice because, he did smoke and, the drinking.
Just a little.
But yeah, just a little. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I remember you guys did a show with Xenon, and I don't know if I should say this, but Xenon was kind of taken back. They were like, "Wow, you guys really." They were very they were looking at you guys because Joey Joey from Xenon had a good voice, but Dennis had that presence. He had that presence that nobody can match. He was doing the David Lee Roth thing on stage, and everybody thought that era was gone. It's like when Motley Crue first came out. Everybody was like, the Kiss phase is over. Well, guess what? It's all everything comes full circle.
Oh yeah.
And you guys put on a rip roaring rock and roll show. I mean, to see you guys live was like um somebody being on steroids. It was like crazy, and it was like nuts. I took a buddy of mine to go see you guys, and he said, "Well, the album's really good." I said, "Where do you see him live?" And it was at It was it was in Jersey City. I I forget if it was Escapades or Connections. I think it was Escapades, and it wasn't a big stage, but you guys played it like you were in an arena. And Dennis comes out from behind the amp, and he's doing splits and stuff. And you guys went right into Metal Soldiers,
That was a good song.
and oh my God, it was incredible. And Tommy, I didn't have a ride there that night because I lost my license at the time. And Tommy made sure, he's like, I'm gonna get you guys a ride. Don't worry about it. So we got us a ride there. Place was packed. Everybody's watching you guys, and people's mouths were dropping. And all the other bands had the teased out hair. I mean, looking like everybody else. But you guys come out there. Billy was a black guitar player, which didn't really matter. He smoked. I mean, Billy still is an amazing guitar player. And you guys the way you guys played together, and you had this unique metal sound, and it was just great. You guys like never lost your roots. And it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Who were you? Who were your influences growing up?
Actually, growing up, I listened to a lot of Yes.
Really?
Led Zeppelin, Yes, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
It shows in
those
your bass playing, actually.
yeah, but Yes, Chris Squire was my favorite bass player. I was in like a Yes tribute band in high school. You
Oh
know,
really?
it would take us like 3 months to learn a song, get close to the edge, 30-minute song. You know, and but it was fun. And then then we went in, I started getting into jazz, and I was like, I ain't gonna make no money with this. And then I started playing. I just started looking for rock bands to play with.
Yeah.
I had like a jazz background and classic rock. You know.
Yeah. And you were telling me when you were playing with Pierce that you couldn't have found better musicians to play with.
Oh no, they were the top at what they did, man. I mean, Tommy was definitely. I played with a lot of drummers, man, and a couple big bands, and he was the best I've ever played with. You
Tommy,
know,
Tommy's a
at
monster.
least for my bass playing, he was the best. But when I played with him, we knew where each other was going all the time. You know,
Yeah.
and it made it really easy to write songs. We just go in the back and just start writing, and Billy would come in and put something on it, and it's a song. You know.
Yeah.
Dennis comes in with his pad and he leaves, comes back 20 minutes later, he's got a melody. I mean, it was the easiest songwriting ever working with them. And that was another thing. You know, I left a little too early, but there was things going on at that time that
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with, and I missed it. I had a good opportunity to go with Dio, because when I was with Hellion, we were managed with by Nietzsche, Ronnie's wife, and then they were putting a reunion tour together. And a second album was just coming out, and I wrote a lot of material, and I got the offer to go out there for the audition for that. And they already knew my playing because they just seen me when we were in LA. They came out to FM station,
Right.
And I passed that up. And besides that, we lost our management. We signed with I got us a deal with Darby Walters. He was doing Aerosmith and the Jacksons. And a week after we signed, he got arrested. I believe it was fixing the college draft and threatening Michael Jackson's life, something like that. But the guy that was our representative, the whole office I think they were racketeering or something, charges. There was nobody even there. So the album was born without any management. So I had to go book the second tour out of nowhere because the album was coming out. You didn't want it to be born dead.
Right.
So, and that's how we got going. I booked the first, when I joined them, we were basically just doing clubs in Jersey.
Right.
And since I played with Hellion and we toured, we had itinerary. And I took the itinerary from the Hellion, and I took itinerary from Don Dome's brother. I think it was Steve Dome. He gave us some clubs too. And I booked our way to LA. And I just lied and I made up a management company name and told them, we just needed gas stops and we were signed and all this. And we got it. And then I had friends in LA that were going to book us in LA.
Right.
And we got all the way to LA. I call up the guy Jeff, and he's like, dude, oh man, I totally forgot. And he kept calling. Dennis looked at him. Dennis grabbed me. He goes, you say dude once more, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. Dennis he had the shorts. So now I'm feeling bad. So Tommy was like the bank, because he had the studio, he had money. So he got there was no cell phones back in those days, just pay phones. Yeah. He got a handful of quarters, and we just started calling places. And now it wasn't working. I said, okay, let's just go down Sunset, because on Sunset, I knew LA. The first one you hit is Gazares, and you got the Roxy, Whiskey, and Go-Go. Everything's in a line. Troubadour's a little bit across town. It's not right there,
Right.
So we started riding up there. The first place I walked in was Gazares, and there's this old man sweeping the floors. I was like, excuse me, is there somebody I can talk to about getting to play here? He says, when? I said, tonight. He looked at me, tonight? I said, yeah. I just looked at him. We just drove up and we seen Capitol Records, the big round building, So that was fresh in my head. I said, yeah, we're with Capitol Records and we just want to play. We don't want no money or nothing. Guy says, you're with Capitol? He goes, hold on, let me go see if anybody's back there and make a call. So he goes back, he comes back out, he says, you know what? Come at 9 o'clock tonight. So yeah, he said, yeah, come 9 o'clock. I didn't realize the bands don't start till 10, you know, and everything's pay to play. It's been like that in LA now for already like 5 or 10 years, you know. You have to pay like $500 like 2 months in front ahead of time, take tickets, you sell them. If you sell them all, you'll make money. If you sell half, you'll break even. This guy just said, come in at 9 o'clock. So we come at 9 o'clock, all the bands are there and just the staff, maybe a couple people, like girlfriends and stuff. And we went on and we played like the place was packed. And we got done and we smoked it. All the musicians were out there and just watching. And we got done and these 3 suits come walking in a dressing room and we're getting changed. And it's the old guy that was he was like, looked like the janitor. He's in a suit now. He says, I want you to meet somebody. It's a so-and-so. And he's the president of Capitol Records. And he said he never fucking heard of you. I said, did I say Capitol? He says, yes, you did. I said, oh. He goes, that's all right, man. He goes, it's okay. He goes, he was from New York originally. Mr. goes, all right. And, I've been out here 20 years and a bunch of pussies out here. He goes, he hands me tickets for Friday night for the best spot. And he goes, if you sell them, you got $500. And he just put us in the best spot. I was like, cool, you know? And we became really good friends with him. We did both our album releases there. Every time I went back to LA, if I was playing with other bands or I was doing productions for a while, I'd go stop and see him. He died, I think, like 10 years ago. He was a good guy, man. And from him, he gave us the Waters Club. He gave us booking agent. By that Friday night, I had us booked for like 3 weeks all over LA, San Pedro. I think we went down to Newport Beach. We went all over the place, you know, because he liked us, and you know, and we were good, so that helped.
I swear, I thought WSOU gave you guys a bad rap by not playing Metalhead Dolls.
They didn't like us because I think they were kind of like ugly, the disc jockeys, and I think the one came on to Dennis at first, and she was just nasty looking, and Dennis kind of ignored her, and nobody.
Ann Dyer was her name.
What's that?
Ann Dyer.
I don't remember her name, but I mean, there was some. The one guy, Al, used to play us sometimes, but I don't know, he had the favorites, and we never kissed anybody's ass. You know what I mean? We always told it as it was, and if somebody got in the way, Tommy would step on their toe, or Dennis would knock them down, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't forget too, we always had. I grew up in a very Italian neighborhood, and my buddies used to come, and we had security all the time with us. Right. Carmen, and they used to, you know what I mean? So if somebody was getting stupid, they probably put them in a place. And I did piss off a couple people. I know Dennis did, pissed off people. So that could have something to do with it too, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of bands that were like spoon-fed by WSOU.
Oh, yeah, because they kissed their ass.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and there were bands that I didn't think that deserved to be on there, you know, but as much as they did. But
somebody were horrible too.
Yeah, and I remember Metalhead Dolls, and it was a great song. And too, there was another song, It's Only Love. I really think that could have been played on SOU.
That was a little, I thought they were more heavy. I thought that was no. Run Silent, Run Deep and Danger should have been on there all the time because they played a lot of heavy stuff. And they never played any of that stuff.
I loved Nightwear.
Howard Stern used to play that in his intros, Nightwear.
Yes, you were telling me that
up until the scream. But yeah, because remember we heard that, it's like, that's us, you know? So Mike Frisch called the radio station and Baba Booey answered. He talked to him. He goes, well, do you want us to stop using it? I'm like, no. You know, Howard liked this, you know? That's when he was cool, before he was a liberal.
Yeah.
Pay for my gas now, asshole.
But God rest in peace, that Dennis. He was. I remember going up to the studio. He'd be like, Tommy, are you guys practicing tonight? I'm like, no, I'm gonna go in the room. And Tommy would always let me, because I couldn't practice at home. I just had a pad. But I wanted to go into the studio, and I would have like maybe $5 on me. I wasn't making that much money at the time. And Tom would be like, just give me $5 and you can go in there for an hour and a half and practice. It's dead right now. And
That's cool.
Tommy was so kind.
Tommy was a great guy, man.
He still is to this day. I
Yeah.
mean, he
Well,
really.
I just booked a flight. I'm coming down on. We booked a flight for July 6th, so we'll have to get together.
Definitely.
I'm gonna fly down. Yes, I ain't gonna drive my truck down there. It's crazy, you know. But by that time, it'll probably be $7 a gallon by next month. You know.
It's cheaper to fly.
Yeah. And it's cheaper to fly the better airlines than cheap airlines.
Oh, these
You know?
gas prices are freaking insane.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, it is, man. It's crazy. Florida for $5 a gallon. It's gonna get worse, man. And these idiots. I don't blame the administration. I blame the idiots that voted him in.
Of course.
You know.
This guy's an idiot. I mean, he was an idiot years ago. He was an idiot back before he was president. Yeah.
Well, Trump said, if you vote this idiot in, you're going to be paying $5, $7, $10 a gallon. It's coming true, you know.
Yeah.
So, I hope we don't have to pay. Yeah, so I'm flying up. We'll get together when I come up for sure. But I'm going to give Tom a call to make plans with him too, you know.
That'd be. I know Billy's coming down in June.
Right.
It would be great to see you and Tommy get together and just get up there and jam. You know, I mean, he's such a great guy. He keeps in touch with me. He lets me know when he's playing.
That's cool.
He'll text me, you know. I mean, you guys actually helped my band be a better band. And
I used to go in with some of the bands and work with some of the bands. You know what I mean? Because we were just, why not? You know?
No, it was like, I mean, I remember one day my singer was sick, and instead of canceling the gig, I mean, I had to go up there and sing because I was a backup singer, but I used to hit all the high notes for my singer Larry. And I'm up there singing. Larry had pneumonia; he couldn't sing at the time. So I'm up there singing all the songs, and Billy looked at me and he said, "This." He was going like this with his hand. I go, Billy, what's the matter? He goes, work that stage, work it. It was like a Sharon Osbourne kind of like Ozzy thing. He was like, don't stand there, don't look at the drummer, don't look at anybody else, work that stage. And he watched me and he said, that's what you got to do. And he helped me become a better front man, even though I'm not a front man, but I got pushed up and we got through the gig and it was great. We opened up for Wicked Sin. At the time there was a band Wicked Sin, and it was great, and you guys actually helped me out a lot. Tommy used to come in and during our band practice, and he'd be sticking his head and saying, okay, they're doing all right, you know. And I remember you even told me to fire one of my guitar players. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you skipping a little bit. You're freezing up and freezing out for some reason.
Yeah. What?
Am I freezing up too?
A little bit. Yeah. So it's the weather.
Oh, you got weather by you?
Yeah, it's gonna start.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna start. No, but you guys actually helped me out a lot, and I appreciate that. Um, Dennis, God rest his soul, he was such a great front man.
Yeah,
And
he was a good guy. He was a good guy all around. He would give you the shirt off his back, you know.
I yeah, he helped me out a lot.
We went to a baseball game one time, me and him and Tommy, and we were on the right field side, and he loved the Orioles. I think it was one of Cal Ripken's last games, and he wanted to catch one of his balls, and sure enough, the ball came to him, and he caught it, and it was a little kid, and he wanted that ball, and he just turned around and gave it to the kid. You know, I was like, and he wanted that ball. He had a heart of gold. You know.
He really did. He really did, and he showed me that. Um, one of my roadies came up, and he brought his little sister, and she was 8 years old at the time. She came up to the studio, and she wanted to see us practice. And Pierce was there, and I I had the Pierce tape. So I was just gonna go buy another one anyway. So I gave my buddy's friend the Pierce, my buddy's sister the Pierce tape, and actually all you guys signed it. And Dennis was like the first one. He put his arm around her. She's 8 years old, and she was like in awe, like she was meeting this like rock star. And he signed the tape, and Billy signed it, and Tommy signed it, and she was just so happy. And Dennis was like, "Okay, sweetheart, you got your autograph. There you go. Are you happy?" She's like, "Yeah." And he gave her a big hug, and he said, "God bless you." And he was just like such a nice guy, and he's so sadly missed. When I heard about his passing, I was like, really, because he treated me like a brother when I was up there. He
Yeah,
really did.
yeah, a lot of people drop it. I said same when Joey died. I felt bad. I like Joey. Joey was a good kid. You know, your buddy.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was,
So
I mean,
I enjoy life, man, because you don't know when your number's up. You know.
exactly. I do it every day. And it's a shame because he had quit smoking, and when he did, about 2 years later, they found a tumor, a lemon-sized tumor in his lung, and it was stage 4 cancer. And he fought hard for 2 years, but it went to his brain, and he was terminal, and it just happens. And he was a phenomenal drummer,
That sucks.
and he used to play up at Earthquake. Yeah, yeah. God rest his soul, man. I mean, I've known the guy since I was 14.
Yeah, a bunch of people. I know Mike Frisch that used to run the place for us. He was a good guy. He died too. He got sick of cancer and he went quick. So I'm saying, just enjoy every day, man. You don't know when it's your last, so have fun. You know. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's all you can do, man. I mean, we just have to keep doing what we do best. And
Mhm.
I mean, I still go to the studio once in a while. I mean, I don't want to be in a band right now. I'd rather do this and do my job, and like my nine to five job. Come home on the weekend, spend time with my wife, and just do whatever. Um, because honestly, trying to find a band that's serious.
I know that's my problem down here. I'm in a beach community and everybody wants to party all the time and I take music serious. So I'm starting to play with my kid. My kid's getting really good on drums and guitar. And as soon as his timing gets a little better, I'm going to let just the recording with him, you know?
Yeah, I saw your son play Eruption, and I was like, my God, I was like floored. I was like,
He just hit 12.
I was showing my wife, and I was like, that's a gift.
Yeah,
That
he's just pulling stuff. It's when they get to that one point, and once they get it, Now he's getting it. He's like a sponge. He's learning every day. He's like, check this out, man. It squeals. I was like, oh. Well, we were at the beach all weekend. We got the bus, so we went surfing. We stayed at Jen Park where you pull right up on the beach, man. It's like really cool up there, you know. You can fish, you know, you got the ocean there. And we bought acoustic guitars with us. And he came out and he started playing, I think it was Evermore by, I forget the name of the band, but he played it all week and he didn't even listen to it. He just started playing. I was like, you're getting it, man, you know? And he knows all different tunings now. I'm like, cool. So.
And he's into the old stuff.
Yeah, he's not just staying in 440, but he's playing drop D. He's dropping down a whole step. You know, it's like, cool.
And can he sing too? Is he singing?
No, when he was a kid, when he was little 7 years old, there was videos out of him. He was JoJo Zombie. We wrote him songs and he sang and danced and he was excellent. This asshole pulled those videos down too. And I don't have it all in his hard drive. I don't even have access. I have the recordings. I've got the actual recordings because they were on, you know, they were released worldwide. So I think a couple of them are still available. I don't know if they're still on Amazon and stuff like that, but I have the actual CDs and I have them in my thing. I'll have to send them to you. But I mean, they were kids songs. They were kids songs. Santa Claus is a zombie. You know, it was cool stuff. But yeah, this idiot took them all down. But I got CDs. I bought CDs and had them. I actually bought the physical ones too, but I have them. But he took all the videos down. We had videos. There was kids that did it with him, and their parents are calling me, asking me what happened to the videos. Here, call this number. I don't know what to tell you.
What a shame. What a freaking shame.
Fucking idiot. You know? That's just a spiteful, evil person, you know?
It's a lesson learned, you know. I mean, this business is tough.
Yeah, but when you think you're friends with somebody and they turn ugly, that's even worse, man, you know?
It's all about this. And it's all about, like, you know, well, I produced it or I helped produce it, and so you know.
Yeah, but we were partners and paid half on all those videos for him. We paid half. Where's my half? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not worth taking him to court because it'll cost me a whole bunch of money to take the fucking idiot to court. You know?
No.
And he'll probably just destroy it anyway, destroy the hard drive because he's evil. I'm surprised he's not dead by now because I figured he would have offed himself because he's so miserable. You know, if I was that ugly and I looked like that, I would have killed myself a long time ago.
It's just that is evil. I mean, you wrote that song for your wife, and I went to go play it.
Yeah. This
morning. I wanted to play it for my wife, you know, because I get teary-eyed when I hear it, especially when I hear your song.
I'll send it to
you. Please, I love the song.
Yeah.
And I love the song that we did with the intro the last time.
Right.
If you like that song, we'll use that song for the intro.
Do you need a copy of that, or do you have that?
I don't have a copy. I'll
send them to you.
Okay, yeah. If you can, just text them to me, and what I'll do, send them on Messenger.
I got to see if I can get that from Dropbox. I'll try.
Yeah. Okay. If you can't send them on Messenger, just text them to me.
Okay.
And what I'll do, I'm gonna send them to my editor, Mike Kowalski. He was in a band called Eminem, and he just likes to do editing now. He works for a cable company. He's a really great guy. And I don't know how to edit. So he's doing all my editing. He's putting the music in the beginning and everything. I'm doing my cousin from American Angel next week. And,
that's cool.
And I'm gonna do a buddy of mine, Oscar, from a band Fire Inside. They're in Florida. He's a little bit older than me, actually, and they're starting to. They got like an independent record deal, and they just started. I told them to be careful.
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
because, you know, I mean, I told them, I mean, you can manage yourself.
yeah, you can.
You don't need a manager. A manager books gigs and, you know,
I
they want,
I don't know. And if I did, I don't trust anybody anymore. You
no,
know, I
no,
really, you know, and it's not only with music, it's even with my business. It seems like if I don't do it myself, it doesn't get done right, you know? So
exactly,
I'm
exactly,
always on the guard. It's screwed too many times, you know, depending on the
absolutely.
people. You know, you gotta watch yourself.
You definitely do. And it's a rough business. And especially these days, it's a lot more easier to record.
Oh
But,
yeah.
but like back when we used to do it, we worked our asses off. Everything was mic'd, everything. Now you can do everything on a computer with the
Now,
Pro
yeah, but
Tools.
now you can do one verse and one chorus and they put it together. We used to
Yeah.
play the whole friggin' song. We were a machine when we did it, you know?
Oh
So
yeah. Oh my
you had
God.
to be,
Yeah.
you know, and it made you better for your life. I mean, with Pierce, before we went out on tours, we would do a set in the morning and then we would do a set in the afternoon and a set at night. We would do 3 sets a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd have the lights off so we didn't see what we were playing. So you didn't have to look at your guitar. So, but that's why I always looked at people. I never watched while I was playing. You know,
Yeah.
you got to get out of habit.
I I play Pierce all the time in work, and people are like I said before, who's this band? I bring my Bluetooth speaker at work, and I have it on YouTube Music. You know, it. I don't go on YouTube. I have something called YouTube Music, and I have it downloaded, and it's got like the first two albums, and I listen to all of them. And when Hit and Run comes on, everybody's like, "This is a good tune." I was
Well,
like,
Hit and
"Yeah,
Run, when we did Metalhead Dolls, we knew it was going to be the video, the hit of the album. So whenever you have that, you want to have a song similar to it. So I took the same beat and I basically made the music off of that. You listen to the beat, it's very similar. You know what I mean? It's got that driving sound to it. That's
and
what that.
tell." And then there was another song. Oh my God. Tell Me You're in Love. Uh
Your Love was, they wrote that before I got there.
oh yeah, okay,
That
okay.
was one of the ones Billy and Dennis recorded before me.
There was like so much great stuff. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, those I I I I can't choose between the two albums because I mean, I know that there was a lot of songs on the second album that were so old, and I realized that because I found a YouTube clip before anybody was really before you, Tommy, and and before it was only Billy that was in Pierce, and they were opening for TT Quick somewhere in New York, and it wasn't Dennis singing, it wasn't Tommy playing, it wasn't you playing bass, and the song sounded kind of stale. They were good, but they were kind of stale. Like there was, oh God, I can't remember, but there were a couple songs. There was a Shadow of Death, or was a Shadow of Death. I I can't remember. Um, but the songs just didn't sound the same as they did on the album when you guys did them.
Well, we never, when we did those songs, when we joined, we played our parts to them. We didn't play their parts.
Exactly,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? So me and Tommy, I played to Tommy. I didn't. They didn't. They just said this is what I'm doing. They didn't tell me what I was doing. I did. You know what I mean? So we made it our own.
Right.
So we changed with mine and his style. We changed the whole probably feel of the song. You know.
Now Now, who came in first, Tommy, or did you come in first?
Tommy came like, we did the first show together, but he was practicing with them, and then the bass player quit because he didn't like Tommy.
Tommy was telling me that. The guy was telling me that Tommy thought that uh the guy thought Tommy was too overweight
Yeah,
or something like that, which is
yeah,
ridiculous. Tommy back then was a muscular guy.
yeah.
He was kind of like a Bob Rock kind of guy, you know what I mean?
We used to
And
call him, you know, like,
I'm I mean,
but
if
yeah, the
you
guy left because of that. And then when I joined, Dennis didn't like me at first because he was best friends with the guy Glenn that was the bass player. But then once we started gelling, everything, it was just like family, you know?
of course,
So
of course. I mean, you guys, I'd
we
never
lived,
heard.
we lived together. We lived together. We toured together, you know? We got in trouble together. We did everything together. Those were
Yes,
fun days.
it was great. I remember when you guys came back from California, and it was like, I mean, I see those pictures of you in front of Gazzari's, you know, and it was just, I I I think it's on Tommy's page, and that one picture of you guys on the motorcycle on Pierce 2 on
That
the
was cool.
back of the CD was so freaking cool. It's like no other band had that.
Yeah, that was a cool picture.
It was a really cool picture. I ever,
I have that. I have that picture framed somewhere.
yeah, it's just that you guys were great. I don't know how else to. I mean, actually, you were my favorite club band, Jersey band at the time. I mean, I tell my wife, you know, I mean, you guys were it. I personally think you guys were better than more than half the bands out there. I really do. I remember seeing you guys at the Union County College, and you guys just, if there was a roof, you would have blew it off. I mean, people.
That was a weird show because that was I just got out of the hospital. I had my jaw broke
Oh
and I
my
had my,
God.
I had my mouth wired shut for that. And I was trying to sing like this.
So you really couldn't do the backup vocals that good.
No, but I had my mouth was wired closed, man. I got whacked with a 2x6 or something. So
And
yeah.
and you could definitely hear your vocals, your backup vocals, and especially Tommy's on some of the songs.
Oh yeah. He had the
And
low voice and the high voice.
you guys had those harmonies, and it was just great.
Yeah, Misery had good harmonies on it. That was a good one.
Misery was, you know, that song actually has a lot of meaning. Misery loves company.
Well,
I
that
don't
was
know.
wrote that off the book. Misery.
Yeah,
But yeah, before the movie came out, and we were trying to get it to the people to get it for the soundtrack, but we kind of missed the date on it, you know, because
great.
that was before the movie came out.
It would be great. I mean, if Dennis was still alive, God rest his soul, I would love to see a Pierce reunion. I mean,
Yeah, it
I don't
can't
know
be
how,
one without, you know.
I know American Angel was thinking about it, but it's not gonna be the same, you know. I mean, Xenon is still playing.
Are they really?
Oh yeah, all the original members, Irene, Tony, Joey, and Bob Speck. But they don't play the clubs. They do like American Legions and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool because they still sound the way they do. I mean, Joey, you know, he's a little heavier now, and he's bald. Not bald, but you know, he's light up on top, very light. And but his voice is spot on. They sound just as good then as they did then, even better.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's good to see bands like that still together. When my cousin was in American Angel, I remember going to see them, and it was kind of funny because they they were a good band. They were a very good band. Now Rocco was trying to keep the band going, and it's just not the same. He's got all these very young musicians, and he did some things in the band with money that just wasn't right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, I don't know. He had an attitude. I met him once and he left a bad taste in my mouth. And it was just not good. And again, I don't like to bash
What
people.
was he, drummer?
He was the lead singer, Rocco Fury.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was just, and again, he was a great singer, but I would never interview him. Never.
Yeah.
I'm gonna interview my cousin, who's a very nice guy. I mean,
Who's he playing?
he's doing a jazz thing. He's very into jazz now,
Well, that's
which
cool.
and he still loves heavy metal. And he said he was telling me, if the offer was up, he would do an American Angel reunion. But there are some people who wouldn't, from American Angel, who wouldn't want to do it. It's it has a lot to do with they had good chemistry, but again, there are some people in some bands. It's like a marriage, It's like going back to an old girlfriend.
Yeah, that don't work too well for me.
Yeah, and you spend 5 minutes with them and you realize why you broke up.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's saying like Skid Row should get back together, with the original singer Sebastian Bach. And I keep telling people that Sebastian Bach was not the original singer, and his name was Matt Fallon. And all those songs on the first Skid Row album were not written by Sebastian Bach. Matt Fallon got fired because Atlantic Records wanted to actually hire them or sign them, and they brought in a Canadian singer, and he called himself Sebastian Bach, and he sang. All the songs were written by Dave Sabo and Scotty Hill, and all the songs were written in like '87, and he joined like in 88, 89. Yeah, like 88. He learned the songs. They got the deal, and bang, the record came out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they did. I think they went out with the original singer with Bon Jovi because they were good friends with Bon Jovi, and the original singer just didn't cut it live. That's why they didn't want.
No. I mean, look, I have a friend who, Joe Larson, he was playing with, he was practicing with Matt Fallon, and they were going to call the band Fallon, but it just never happened. They were going to do a gig, and they never played live, and it just didn't work out. But hey, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, like a band is a marriage. There's going to be arguments, and there's going to be, I'm sure you guys had your little arguments, and just like any other band, but some bands are worse than others, I mean,
Yeah, it's that's normal,
And
we did have our ups and downs, and that's, looking back at it, I left a little too early. I should have hung in there, but I have no regrets. You know what I mean? I've had a great life,
And you still do, man.
I
mean, you're in great shape, man. I mean, I can tell by looking at you, man. You haven't freaking aged.
I feel it in the mornings.
Yeah, well, we all do.
I had a couple of bike wrecks that kind of hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now like I said, we just came back from a surf trip, We're always doing something. We usually run every weekend somewhere. So we came home early because this tropical storm was supposed to come in, but now the sun's coming out. So
yeah. Now it's a little bit cloudy here. So I mean, it's crazy. But Joey, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Good seeing you. I mean, I'll get you those songs, and what I'll do is I'll get together with Tommy. I'm gonna try to get in touch with him, and we'll get together when I come up, bro. Go for a drink or something.
That would be great, man. That would really be great, and I really appreciate it. You being on the show again and us doing this again. It's a pleasure to have you on here, man.
Thank you, brother. Good seeing you.
You too, man.
Hope your mom's feeling better.
Thank you. Yes, she is. She just has to stay on her inhaler and oxygen and stop smoking.
It's kind of hard to smoke and do oxygen at the same time,
I mean, she's close to 75. How do you tell a 75-year-old woman to stop smoking with emphysema? I mean, I worry about her. So it is what it is, man. I mean, all I can do is there he is. He's a good boy.
She was mad at me because we took her to the kennel for a couple of days because she tears the RV up if somebody runs by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She took the curtains down, very protective. And the thing was custom made, so there's like a dog cage in there that's pretty big for her.
Right.
She stays in there, and so I just took her and let her play with other dogs for like 5 days, and she was mad.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, keep in touch, bro. I will get to you.
I definitely will, man. And thanks a lot for being on the show, Joe. And
you're welcome. Thank you.
And it was a pleasure having you on. And we'll see you next time, man. And definitely keep in touch. Maybe we could do another interview in the future. When those songs get together. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start working. I'm gonna probably try to start working on them in a couple of weeks. Try to get them going.
All right, Joey. Thank you so much.
Here's a tale about 3 men from not so long ago. They had a plan to make things right, but no one else would know. Everyone must do their part and stay on the same page. Ain't no room for errors, ain't no room for mistakes. We can't hold the secret if 2 of them are dead. Dead men tell no tales, they take you with them to the end. Never trust nobody, ain't no such thing as friends. Only 3 can hold the secret if 2 of them are dead. The deed was done, we made a pact to hide and just lay low. No contact with each other, the loot we cannot show. They started flashing cash and ass and driving fancy cars. I'm not ready for their acts to put me behind bars. 3 can hold the secret if 2 of them are dead. Dead men tell no tales, they take you with them to the end. Never trust nobody. Ain't no such thing as friends. Only three can hold the secret. If two of them are dead.
Forgive me, Father, for I know what I must do. There's three of us, but only me I trust. You can have the other two.
Three can hold the secret. If two of them are dead. Dead men tell no tales. They take you with them to the end. Never trust